You know that feeling, right? You start a new habit, you're super motivated, and then, maybe 2 weeks later, it's gone. Poof. Well, what if I told you the problem isn't you, and it's definitely not your willpower? Today, we are diving into some genuinely surprising, science-backed tricks that actually work, all based on the fantastic book, The Great Encyclopedia of Awesome Habits. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into the real secret of making habits stick. Then, we're going to hack our focus with some pretty weird brain boosts. After that, we'll look at some surprising mind-body connections. And we'll finish up with some simple tricks to basically give you social superpowers. Let's do it. All right, first things first, we have to talk about the single biggest mistake people make when building new habits. And here's a hint, it has absolutely nothing to do with being lazy or unmotivated. I mean, this is the question, isn't it? It's the one that drives us all crazy. We start with so much energy. We're gonna hit the gym, we're gonna read every day, we're gonna meditate, and then it just fizzles out. Why does it always feel like we're fighting an uphill battle? And boom, there it is. This is the idea that changes everything. We've been sold this bill of goods that it's all about willpower, but science shows our brains just aren't wired to run on that stuff long term. It's like trying to power a whole city with a couple of AA batteries. You're gonna burn out, and you're gonna burn out fast. So if willpower isn't the key, then what is? Well, it comes down to these 3 principles that actually work. First up, action first. We've got it completely backward. We think we need motivation to start, but no, motivation shows up after you start. It's like one of those old-timey airplane engines. You gotta give the propeller a spin to get it going. Just putting on your running shoes, that's the spin. Second, habit stacking. This is pure genius. You just piggyback a new tiny habit onto one you already do, like meditating for 60 seconds right after you brush your teeth. Your brain barely even registers it as a new thing. And third, the nudge. This is where you make your environment do all the hard work for you. Put your running shoes right by the front door, put that book you want to read on your pillow. You're making the right choice, the easiest choice. Okay, so now that we've got the foundation for building habits, let's get into some of the really fun, kind of weird brain hacks. These are simple little tricks that sound almost too good to be true, but they are scientifically proven to sharpen your mind. So what if I told you that you could boost your performance on a detailed, focused task by 44% in just 1 minute? Sounds kind of crazy, right? But a study out of Hiroshima University found a bizarrely effective way to do just that. The secret? Looking at pictures of cute baby animals. I am not kidding. You can see that massive spike in performance on the chart. Researchers think it triggers our brain's natural caregiving instinct, which makes us more careful, more precise, more focused. So yeah, next time you really need to buckle down and focus, your best bet might just be a quick Google search for cute puppies. Science says so. All right, the age-old debate, clean desk or messy desk. Well, a study from the University of Minnesota found that the answer is, it depends on what you're trying to do. A clean, tidy desk actually primes your brain for following rules and doing conventional work with precision. But a messy desk, like Einstein's famous chaotic workspace, that actually sparks creativity and helps you come up with brand new ideas. It's like the chaos gives your brain permission to think outside the lines. Remember getting in trouble for doodling during a boring lecture? Well, turns out you are on to something. Doodling isn't a distraction, it's actually an anti-distraction tool. See, when we're bored, our brain tends to go into these elaborate daydreams, which take up a ton of mental energy. Doodling is just enough of a low-energy task to keep your brain lightly occupied, which prevents it from wandering off into outer space. That's why studies show doodlers can recall up to 29% more information. It's a brilliant little trick to stay engaged. Okay, let's take this a step further. We're now going to look at how you can actively control your mental and physical state. These next few tricks are shockingly simple ways you can manage everything from high-stakes decisions to sudden waves of anxiety. This next study is fascinating, and it reveals this hidden force that can totally control our decisions. Researchers analyzed over 1,000 parole hearings, and they found something pretty startling. A person's fate often had less to do with their case and more to do with what time of day it was. As you can see, cases heard early in the morning had about a 65% chance of approval. But that number steadily drops, all the way to nearly 0 right before the judge's lunch break. Then after lunch, it shoots right back up to 65%. So what on earth is going on here? It's a real thing called decision fatigue. Every single choice you make all day, from what to wear to what to eat, it drains your mental energy. And when that battery gets low, your brain just defaults to the easiest, safest option, which is usually just saying no. This is exactly why people like Steve Jobs famously wore the same outfit every single day. They were eliminating a pointless decision to save that precious mental energy for the things that actually mattered. This next one, honestly, it's a total game changer. Researchers at Harvard found that the physical symptoms of anxiety, the racing heart, the sweaty palms, are almost identical to the physical symptoms of excitement. The only difference is the story we tell ourselves about them. So just by saying the words, I feel excited, instead of I feel anxious, you can trick your brain into reframing a threat as a challenge. And get this, it can actually boost your performance by up to 22%. It's an incredible mind trick. Okay, for our final section, let's talk about a few simple social superpowers. These are science-backed, easy-to-do tricks that will help you build effortless connections and instantly upgrade your interactions with people. I want you to think about the last time you had a really great, deep conversation with someone. Now, what's the one thing that could have instantly shattered that connection? The answer might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Yep, it's your phone. And what's really wild is that studies have shown that just having a phone on the table, even if it's turned off and face down, is enough to lower the quality of a conversation. It sends this little subconscious signal that your attention could be pulled away at any second, and that little signal reduces feelings of empathy and genuine connection. The easy fix? Just put it away, completely out of sight. And here are two ridiculously easy ways to build instant rapport with someone. First is something called the chameleon effect. All you do is subtly, and I mean subtly, mirror the posture or gestures of the person you're talking to. It activates what are called mirror neurons in the brain and creates this subconscious feeling that you're both in sync. And second, think about where you sit. Sitting directly across from someone can feel a bit confrontational, like a job interview. But if you just shift to a diagonal or side-by-side position, it immediately feels more collaborative and less tense. So, as we wrap all this up, the one big idea to walk away with is this. Real, meaningful change doesn't come from some massive, heroic burst of willpower. It comes from the compounding interest of all these tiny, smart, and consistent habits that you barely even have to think about. So I'll just leave you with this question. After hearing all these weird and wonderful tricks, from looking at cute animals to telling yourself you're excited, what is the one small, surprising habit that you're going to start today? Just pick one, make it super tiny, and see what happens.